For this assignment, I chose to interview Jamie Bessant, the owner and operator of Physical Solutions, a fitness studio where trainers work alongside their clients to pursue their fitness and health-related goals. This is a full-service personal training facility in which the trainers take an active role in empowering their clients to strive for their personal best to achieve a functional level of health. This studio takes on a holistic approach in which clients with various wellness needs, including injury recovery, pain management, or individualized training programs, can be accomplished to bring about results. Jamie is an athletic therapist in which she works with various clients to rehabilitate musculoskeletal injuries. Her impressive credentials, including a bachelor in kinesiology and major in athletic therapy, allows her to incorporate new and innovative techniques to bring individuals back to their normal selves. So Jamie, how long have you been within this business?
My own business?
Yes.
I started it in 2007. So whatever that math works out to be.
So what inspired you to open your own business, and what was your ultimate goal at the beginning of your journey?
Well, I worked in a bunch of different places. So I started working as a chiro assistant. Like, I'm an athletic therapist, so the difference between athletic therapy and physio is that we more specialize in muscles and bones. So we tend to work a lot with like teams and that kind of stuff. But I decided I wanted to have a life because you work with a team, you're gone every weekend, you're there every night, you're kind of like, it consumes your life and you don't really get paid as well as I was like. And then I worked with a chiro, and then I worked at a gym, and I just kind of bounced around because I wasn't really sure what area I wanted to go into because it's such a broad area.
Right.
And then you didn't get paid very well. So I actually had gotten fired from a job, believe it or not, because I didn't want to do things the way they wanted to do things. And that more or less stemmed me to start my own. And I took over actually the space that I was managing for them. They ended up leaving, and I took their space and started my own.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Wow. So what were your biggest challenges to starting your own business?
The startup costs mostly. Yeah, which I'm still paying today.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And then just getting the word out there, right? So when you're in your own spot, you don't have other people to draw from, like if you're at a gym or somewhere else, and then having a low budget.
Yeah.
It's really, the best thing I did was create referral bases between other practitioners, so medical doctors, other physios, chiros, and just try to get them to understand how different I am from them, right? And then finding your niche. Like, you gotta find out what you're good at and go from there, right?
So how did you decide where to locate your business? Why did you locate it in that particular spot?
Because it was cheap, and I knew it. I knew the area was pretty central, and I'd already been there for a period of time, so I already had clients. So I didn't want to move and lose those clients, and it just seemed like the ideal situation because it was located within a clinic, and I already had created quite a referral base between the chiros that were there and the massage therapist. So I already had like a good
thing.
Yeah, a good referral. They already knew me.
That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
How did you successfully attempt to bring attention to your company? I know that you said that you kind of had referrals with chiropractors, but how did you did you use social media as a form of advertising?
I didn't really at all. I'm kind of computer illiterate, which is why we tried like the women's show, and we tried like advertising or putting specials on. But I found that all the people that came for those specials or free session or this were the ones that just wanted the free session, and that was it. Right. I put money into my website, so I guess that is a little bit of social media. But I pay for him to keep me on the top of the search list, which has, it gets me probably 1 or 2 clients a month still to this day. Yeah. So, and I totally was just around people to show them what I did, because a lot of people talk the talk but don't necessarily walk the walk.
Right. Yeah.
So I always I advertised on my website to medical doctors. If they come, they get a free assessment, so they understand what I do. But every time they came, they would never take it for free and end up paying anyways because they see the value in it.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
What difficulties did you approach when you were maybe hiring potential employees, and what do you look for in your employees?
Well, I'm still battling with that. I just had a girl. So it's more, I find the younger generation is now, they don't really have a lot of drive.
Right.
Right? So finding someone that actually wants to put some work into it.
Mm-hmm.
They kind of come out of school, and I mean, I have no one working with me right now. I did last week, which she didn't work out because I see that they're really smart, but it takes work, right? And you have to be there. You have to, you kind of have to suck it up for a while and not make very much money. Right?
When you're starting out.
Yeah, exactly. So, training your friends, training your family, training anybody you can to be around so that people can see what you're capable of, and then they're easier to sign on with you. Because my battle right now is people tend to get referred to me.
Right.
So I have a hard time trying to get them to go to someone else. But if they were a familiar face and they're around, it's a little bit easier. So if I go on vacation, then there's someone else for them to see. Right now, I don't have that. And I'm turning people away because I'm booked. So I don't want those people to go away.
Yeah.
Right? So my battle right now is finding people that they don't necessarily have to do what I do, but complement it in some way, right? Yeah, because not everybody's for me, and if that person has better skills in a different area, then I'm all about, referring to them, and I'm all about growing together, not necessarily having employees, but having
Like
a team.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. That we all kind of sponge off of each other and geek out, as I call it.
When it comes to obtaining information from others, so people that you seek advice from, who do you normally, for business advice, would you ask if you find that you're in a difficult situation?
I usually always go to my brother. He has a successful business in the city, and he usually and then I have friends that are in marketing. It really depends. I even have clients that sometimes I ask opinions about. Usually my brother, though, is the main one because he's kind of the devil's advocate, and he's not afraid to challenge me or tell me that I'm crazy. And I've brought him along in meetings and stuff because he has that. I tend to be emotional. Right. I'm a girl. Yeah. I'm also very passionate about what I do. So I always bring him along to be the level-headed side of the conversation, especially if it's a difficult conversation, like, leasing a spot or, asking all the right questions, because I'll get excited about the spot and not really think too much about the money and all that until after the fact, right? Yeah.
Awesome.
So yeah, mostly him.
Awesome. That's good that you have somebody that you can have there with you.
Yeah.
What parts of owning your own business do you find most difficult and most enjoyable?
Most difficult is taking time off.
Yeah.
Because I love what I do, I tend to work way too much. I get run down, and you're only working with clients, but you have all the admin and stuff to do on the other side of things. So I might work a 10-hour day and then come home and now have another 2-3 hours of work to do, and then by the end of the week I'm done. I feel guilty every time I take holidays because, oh no, what are they going to do without me?
Right, yeah.
Right? And the most enjoyable is I love what I do. I love that no one is the same. Mm-hmm. That they're all challenges. And a lot of my clientele tend to be, because not a lot of people know what athletic therapy is, mm-hmm. and I've kind of created a different, I approach it differently. So I combine your rehab and your training together, because the way our system's kind of set up now, you go for rehab here and then you're training there, or you're going to your fitness classes there, and there's no overlap. And that's why they're always living in that chronic state of problems, because what they're doing in rehab might not be transferring over to what they're doing in exercise. So I find most of the people that I get of, you know, have been chronic pain and they're stuck in a bad cycle and they think they're never going to get better. And then we approach it as a whole. And I have lots of practitioners that I refer out to who know what I do, so it's really easy to create that balance, which I love. And I just love how everybody's a challenge. So
that's so awesome. Your job sounds awesome. So how does your company benefit your clients over somebody else, like your competitor or?
I don't really have any competitor. Like, I would love to have someone else that I can refer to do what I do, but I find like a lot of the athletic therapists are trying to be physios.
Right. Okay.
I'm not a physio.
Yeah.
And I have a physio that I refer to do that hands-on stuff. I do some hands-on stuff, like I do grafts and I do kinesiotaping, which aids in whatever I'm doing. It's a quick, well, let me just get that doing. And if it's bigger than that, then I tend to refer to someone else because it's more beneficial for them to have an hour of a massage or something than me to spend 10 minutes and then not do the exercise side, right? There's the balance. So, what was the question? I think I went on a tangent.
That's okay. How does your company benefit your clients?
Yeah, so just creating, like, combining the rehab, because if you lie down and do like a little exercise that you typically get at a physio or whatever,
right,
and that doesn't make it when you stand up and walk around that muscle's going to work. So I make sure that it works, and I analyze, and I'm always analyzing. And I might have a plan with someone and I won't follow it at all because their body's telling me something else, right? Like the analyzing never shuts off,
right,
which is a pain sometimes.
Okay, so what are your top 3 tips that you would give someone who is considering starting their own training business?
I would make sure that you have a client base before you start, because it's a huge struggle. And a regular client base, like people come and go, but ones that you see regular, like I find for me, because I do rehab, I have my clients that just come for rehab, but my bread and butter come from my clients that come see me weekly, right? So, and then where my holes happen, I fill in those rehab people that might be seeing someone else, right? I'd say never discredit another professional because they might be just approaching it differently. I always reach out, like, hey, I've seen this client, what are you doing, or what do you see, right? And then you create that referral base. The minute you reach out, which no one tends to do because they're afraid of, people are possessive of their clients.
Right.
I'm not possessive. I'm like, all I want to do is get this person better.
Right.
And if you get them better in the best way that you can by talking to everyone they're seeing, then they're going to refer to you, right? And admitting when you don't know. Like, there's some things I don't know, but I bet you this person can, right? And being honest with them. And just having, like, don't think about the money. As soon as you are driven by the money, you lose your focus, really. And I'd say never think you know everything, because you never know anything. And the more you know, the less you feel you know. So, yeah, like I'm actually going to Winnipeg probably next. I was talking to Shelby. Going to, there's a couple courses in Winnipeg I was going to come out and take, yeah. Like, I'm just like, I want this one, I want to take this one, I want to take this one.
You're always wanting to learn.
Yeah, and like me, like I've been doing this for over 10 years, and I thought I knew a lot.
Yeah.
And every year that I take something new, I'm like, oh my goodness, I so don't know anything.
Well, that's awesome. Because that leads me to my next question that I wanted to ask you about. So I'm at NATE, the personal fitness training there. It's just a 2-year program. Would you recommend that maybe I further my education, like obtain a degree in something to become more successful as a trainer?
You know, like I found in the past, it's not necessarily the letters behind your name, but it's where it's coming from. So, like, I know a lot of people that have the weekend camp fit, but they're amazing trainers because they live it.
Right.
They are passionate about it. They're always wanting to learn, right? I know people with degrees that just don't get it, right? And they shouldn't be doing what they're doing, right? There's people that are born to do it, and there's people that do it because they want to do it, right? Or they have that degree, or that's just where they landed. But the people that are born to do it, there's so many things you can take out there. And just like, I'm a walking accident. Like, I've hurt every body part. And that teaches me. Like, I learn from all those injuries. Like, I can explain to the T what it feels like when you're doing something wrong or you're doing something right.
Right.
Right? So, yeah, I would just, you got to start with something, usually
Right.
for insurance purposes.
Mm-hmm.
But after that, the sky's the limit, really.
Awesome. That's great. So what can an individual expect in their first year of running their own business?
That it's a lot of work.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a lot of downtime too, though, which gives you the opportunity to do a lot of things and get organized. But you're always organizing and reorganizing, and now I find the time that I'm not procrastinate, but I don't have time to do any of the things that I used to do. Like, I used to send letters for birthdays. I don't do that anymore. I just don't have the time. Yeah, so I need to bring someone else on
Yeah.
to do that stuff. But it's also, I don't like managing other people.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's that overlap. Yeah, but you gotta have a backup plan, right? So start part-time. There's lots of places that, like the place where I rent now, there's 9, we're all independent business owners that share a space. So if you can get yourself into that type of situation, then you can bounce ideas off people. Like, there's a lot of them are full, right? So if they have, like, another one's going on maternity leave and she's got nowhere to send her clients, and because they've been there and they know your face, you're more than likely gonna get. Yeah, it's those little boutique type
Right.
studios that I think is a really good place to start. But that is after you've got a client base, right? Because you can't walk in there and expect everyone to hand over their clients, because they're not gonna.
Right.
But you might land in a perfect situation where one's leaving and their clients are looking for someone.
Okay.
But I would suggest, typically starting in a gym is a good place, because they walk in and want training, right?
Right. Awesome. Well, thank you, Jamie. That helps a lot, and thank you for all your help answering all my questions. I really appreciate it.
No worries.